Do you know what snowflake is?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a snowflake?
I mean, no, but I feel like some people would consider me as a snowflake, yeah?
Just by nature of the fact that you just said what you said.
Correct.
Okay, so here, I'm going to give, but are you saying that, or, here, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give the three of you a really good example. Imagine, like, you see someone with an ACAB hat, all cops are bastards, and I'm like, first off, how would you wear that? And secondly, who are you going to call when someone breaks into your house? You going to call your Uncle Joe? You going to call your liberal friends? And be like, hey, can you bring some, like, weed and some beer over here for these guys? They got guns pointed at my head, and like, I don't really know what to do. Don't call the police, because they're all bad. You know? Wait, is that unfiltered? Wait, is that off the hook? Was that too unfiltered? Can I make that joke? Like, Asians are getting beat up all over the place. I knew people of Asian ancestry who were afraid to leave their homes because they didn't want to get attacked. And yet, the vast majority... Yeah, so the topic is, what should I not say in here?
The purpose of these discussions are, in my view, to figure out what things are good, bad, what should be supported, and that the good faith discussions like these can be used as a platform in order to posit opinions that simply are bad, like
or wrong.
I
got a perfect one.
With this purpose of discussion as a medium to discuss what is good and what is bad. Some people may bring up topics that are purely used to posit an opinion that is wrong or bad.
Or harmful to somebody.
Or harmful, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like some examples of these... I'm going
to give a really good example.
Okay, no, you go ahead.
Bella, do you have one?
One example I would say is probably politics is the biggest one. I feel like a lot of people use politics as a segue to kind of just insult people. Politics is something that everyone has their own opinions on, and that's something that we have to, respect. But when people start to bring in, I guess, viewpoints and opinions that are just downright, hurtful to other people just to kind of prove that they're right and they're thinking and that their side of politics is the only right side. I think that's where a lot of conversations start to get heated because everyone's they just want to prove their point right and they don't want to hear anyone out, so they just start attacking character instead of bringing up facts.
Okay, listen, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know what snowflake is?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a snowflake?
I mean, no, but I feel like some people would consider me as a snowflake, yeah?
Just by nature of the fact that you just said what you said.
Correct.
Okay, so here, I'm going to give, but are you saying that, or, here, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give the three of you a really good example. So, immigrants, undocumented immigrants. So the United States is not the only nation in the world that has undocumented immigrants. Everybody does. People cross over borders and they find ways to sneak in or get into other countries in some nefarious way. They overstay visas, they do all sorts of things, and they decide, hey, I'm going to stay there. So this is not just a U.S. thing, okay? Iran right now, if you study, Iran's dealing with undocumented immigration. Lots of Afghans, lots of Pakistanis, lots of Syrians. They're really struggling to decide what are we going to do with all these people who are undocumented here, right? So they're in the same position, okay? When our leadership starts talking about undocumented immigrants in the United States who are violent and committing crimes and committing all the crimes and committing so much violence and committing all of these things, the dangerous undocumented immigrants, and they use that in that way, it's like you're amping up the rhetoric in ways that are really not just problematic, but first off, that are problematic, but are also mean and are also wrong. Undocumented immigrants everywhere in the world have the lowest crime rates. And that doesn't take a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon to figure out. If you're undocumented, you want to hide Man, you don't want any connection to law, to the law enforcement, to the authorities, to like nothing. And across the board in the United States, undocumented immigrants have the lowest crime rates of people in this country, okay? Now, just because you see the headline of the news about this guy that murders a young college student down in South Carolina or North Carolina or Virginia, wherever it was, which is horrific and terrible, it's like, oh my God. But we're not interested in this class in singular examples. This is a sociology class. We're interested in the trends. So that would be a perfect example of just wrong information. That's who's it problematic for?
Say again?
What's that? Who is it problematic for? Like when people put that narrative out there.
Who is it problematic for?
Why? How is it problematic?
It's problematic for the people that are affected, the illegal immigrants that are, through this use of radicalization of the populace, are thrust out from their communities, their children, and also the communities that they were in, which they may have been an integral part of in many ways.
Hey, wait, hang on. That's a leftist. That's like a leftist liberal response to that question. All right. So all right. You would give the same one. Give me another reason why it's problematic.
I was just going to say it's...
Wait, hang on. Hang on. Because the people who don't think that's a problem, they didn't even listen to Gavin. They're just like, dude, you're just this radical leftist. We don't give a damn what you say. Speak to them. Give them something that...
Okay, here's my thing with illegal immigration and everything. No one that I guess is I'm not even going to say for illegal immigration, is denouncing the fact that they came here illegally. It's never an argument that, yeah, they didn't come here legally. It's the fact that maybe they can't. They are in certain situations, and I'm never saying that, it's easy to come into the U.S. It's very hard for a lot of people, especially people that are native, don't speak English, everything like that. But I think it's very problematic just for people that want to come to the U.S. in general, legally, illegally, because of the way that they see that we treat people. And when you have like ASMR videos about people getting deported and everything, it doesn't make the U.S. seem like it's very welcoming with open arms, because if you don't come here or you're not already here, then, to hell with you.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that's a fair one. I'm going to give you, do you have a reason?
When we're talking about something like this, it often portrays a light on a large society or maybe caste or section, which kind of puts them into a stereotype, which might not be true for the entire society, but which might be true for certain individuals. But because those individuals have been have been shined a light on, or they've been come into light, the majority seems to think that entire sector, that entire part of society is exactly like them.
Okay. Yep, I got you. Yep. Here's another, and the fact is, you've got the Pew Research, they just estimated that right now we have 13 to 14 million undocumented people in the U.S., which has not changed very much since I was studying it 40 years ago. But the other side is, you can't fix the problem if you don't understand who the people are. So this is what I mean about, you like do the left thing, like, oh, these are human beings, and we should treat them better. People don't care. A lot of people don't give a damn about that. They're here illegally, man. Like, that's it. Get out. But what I would say is, you're not going to fix the problem when you're just like throwing out all this information that's wrong, and everybody starts chasing the problem over here when in fact you're missing it. That's not what's going on here. These aren't the people who are committing all the crimes. These aren't the people who you imagine they are. So you're going to have to go back and reevaluate and figure out how we're going to solve this. That's a way to speak to people who are all about law and order.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Hey, by the way, I want to pause a second. Can somebody else does somebody else have just something, just forget this whole conversation that we're doing. Does someone else want to raise their hand and give us something that I should not talk about in this classroom?
I think kind of similarly to the like immigration topic, like just saying like all police are bad and like we should defund the police. It's like one of those very black and white
Okay,
issues
yeah,
that people
exactly.
tend
Yeah,
to
yeah.
push towards one
Yeah.
political group.
That's like all the military is bad. All the police are bad. You know, like all ACAB, all cops are bad, right? You ever see that? ACAB? Anybody parents are police officers? Anyone whose parents are police officers? One? You know, like you know, imagine like you see someone with an ACAB hat, all cops are bad, and I'm like, first off, how would you wear that? And secondly, who are you going to call when someone breaks into your house? You going to call your Uncle Joe? You going to call your liberal friends and be like, hey, can you bring some like weed and some beer over here for these guys? They got guns pointed at my head and like, I don't really know what to do. Don't call the police because they're all bad. You know? Wait, is that unfiltered? Wait, is that off the hook? Was that too unfiltered? Can I make that joke? Dude, was that unfiltered? I'm good? I'm all right? Wait, hang on though, before we go there. Can somebody tell me something we can't talk about in this classroom? Like, don't bring up this some topic. Just don't bring it up. Is there anything? You got one, bro? Conspiracy theories. Okay, don't bring up conspiracy theories. Yeah, well, it's hard because you like, okay, so don't do that. Okay, cool. Even though I have a couple conspiracy theories I'd like to crank out, but like who did kill Epstein, by the way? All right. Does somebody else have one?
I feel like we're talking about a lot of things that we can talk about because this is a sociology course. How about we talk about something that we can't talk about and something that you're not able to teach, such as like a topic like physics or math?
Okay, how about this? How about climate change?
You can talk about that.
How can I talk about that? That's like, I'm a sociologist, man.
It's an observation.
Well, it's an observation built on science, though. It's like, can I do climate change? Dude, the guy in the yellow right there, his hand went up really fast. Huh. Okay. So stick with sociology. Okay, so stick with sociology is what I'm hearing. Okay, that's fair.
I kind of wanted to touch upon the topic of conspiracy theories. I feel like that kind of relates back to like opinions, because some people might define certain conspiracy theories as like fact, while others might say it's false. So you might have someone who's a conservative who says, well, climate change is a conspiracy theory. So who says that we can talk about climate change, and like who says we can't? It's kind of nuanced. It's kind of a little too nuanced.
Okay, I got you. All right, thanks for reopening that door for me. All right, we'll do a class on climate change. Even me saying climate change is a problem for some people. What do you mean climate change? The climate's not changing. Like, what are you talking about? Bro, go ahead, man.
I don't think we should treat any type of hatred as an opinion, because it is, but it's wrong.
But then what's hatred? Like, what's hatred, right?
Like, this specifically what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about like, oh, I hate this guy because he killed my dad. That's different. I'm talking about like unsolicited hatred.
Here, let me give you an example. So a number of years ago, there was a campaign called Stop Asian Hate, because under COVID, so many people of East Asian ancestry were getting attacked. So everybody kept talking about attacks, the hate, the attacks on Asians, and then the stories they told were stories where people, got beat up or something like that. Stop Asian hate, and it was all over the news, right? And then I started investigating, and what I found was that, something like 94% of the hate directed at Asians was just people calling someone a name. And I'm like, wait, hang on a second. I started asking people, everyone thinks that hate is people getting beat up. Like, Asians are getting beat up all over the place. I knew people of Asian ancestry who were afraid to leave their homes because they didn't want to get attacked. And yet, the vast majority was just people calling someone a name. I'm like, so when you say hate, I'm like, wait, hang on a second. Is that hate? Like, I mean, it is hate, but it's like, is it really hate? You know what I mean? Is that hate? It's like if you could call the name, you're like, oh, hey, I experienced a hate crime at Penn State or whatever. It's like, I don't know, it's a question, you know? So you see what I mean? Even there, it's like, shit.
It depends on what you're calling them. Are you calling them? And it's also it's defined. Hatred's defined by the society around you. You're not gonna really get a satisfying answer.
Yeah.
Because it's defined sociologically.
No, but it's you define it the way you want. If I want to define it, if I think I can get people to be like, oh, hate, it means you're beating people up, and I think I can get you to do that, and I keep saying hate, knowing that that's what you're thinking. That's pretty uncool, man. When in fact it's like, yeah, you know, okay, you're yelling at somebody. You know, like, which I'm not saying people of Asian ancestry, it should be okay to yell and name call people of Asian ancestry. Bro, I'm not saying that. You're all good. Right? It's just like, let's be fair to this.